Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Just before we get into today's preview and a couple of other bits and pieces of news, I just want to give an update on Christian Atsu, and that is, unfortunately, he hasn't been found. Now, this came out yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I just thought I'd rectify what I said the other day on the video, was that he had been found, because that's what the club, Newcastle United, had tweeted, what Ghana FA had tweeted. So I was just bringing you that. What we thought at the time was obviously good news. Unfortunately, this came out in the last 24 hours or so that he hasn't been found. Looks to have been a mistaken identity, and we still don't know about Christian Atsu's whereabouts and how he is. So really terrible stuff. Eddie Howe was asked about in the press conference today, speaking glowingly of Christian Atsu as a person and a player from when Howe had him down at Bournemouth. He was saying what a horrible situation it is for his family, and really hoping for some positive news soon. And I echo those thoughts. Thoughts and prayers are with Christian Atsu's family and everyone else in Turkey and Syria at the moment. It's awful tragic news at the minute coming out from Turkey in the past few days or so. The earthquakes over there have killed over 20,000 people now, so it's absolutely terrible. So thoughts going out to everyone there affected, and let's hope we do get some absolute confirmed news on Christian Atsu soon, that he has been found, and hopefully he will be on the road to recovery. Our fingers crossed and thoughts with Atsu and his family. Right then, let's get into the preview for this weekend's game. It's yet another 5:30 kick-off for Newcastle United, this time away from home at the Vitality Stadium, the little Thunderdome that is down there in Bournemouth on the south coast. Eddie Howe returns to Bournemouth for the first time since leaving as manager. Obviously, Howe spent several years at the club, guiding them from the bottom of the Football League all the way up to the Premier League for 5 seasons, relegated during COVID times. And Newcastle, obviously, his first club since he left Bournemouth. Now, we've already played Bournemouth a couple of times, of course, but those games have been at St James's Park. It's the first time he goes back to the South Coast, the Ed Clasico, the Howe Derby. Before we get into the rest of the Bournemouth preview and one or two other things I want to talk about, thank you very much to Circl for sponsoring this video. And this week's Circl is an interesting one. It's a free one. We have a free to enter Circl, so make sure you're scanning this QR code that is on the screen now. Link will also be in the description. And as you can see, the game this week is different. It is the goal gifter. The shifter, where 20% of the jackpot is paid out every time there is a goal, so there could be a few winners this weekend. If you wait for my score prediction, I'm expecting goals in this game against the Cherries, for the Magpies hopefully, but anytime there is a goal in the game, 20% of the jackpot will be paid out, with obviously the remainder being paid at full time. So whoever's at the top of the circle when a goal goes in, bang, money is yours. And whoever at the top of the circle, as always, at full time, bang, the money is yours. So get involved in this weekend's Circl, the goal gifter jackpot, Newcastle versus Bournemouth. It's free to enter, and you get a £100 prize for absolutely nothing. So scan that QR code, join Circl, and good luck. 5:30 on Sky Sports this weekend, and it's a game that Newcastle have to win. We need to start turning these draws into wins if we are going to be serious about getting top 4, because we've seen Man United slip up at home the other night against Leeds United, so it can be done. We've seen it plenty of times this season. We've had so many draws, obviously just recently against West Ham, but we've had draws against Leeds at home. We've had plenty of draws. We drew against Bournemouth, this weekend's opponents, at St James's Park earlier in the season, so we must go on to win this weekend. For me, we've got to convert in those chances that we've had. We've got to start scoring the goals, and most importantly, picking up 3 points. Like I say, if we are to hit our lofty ambitions of top 4. These are the games. Bournemouth are struggling, one of the worst teams in the league. They are poor, they look crap. Gary O'Neill's under pressure. They did sign a couple of good players, to be fair to them. Like, they have strengthened in January. I think that Traore looked very good last week. But our squad, everything about us is way superior to Bournemouth's. Obviously, the league table doesn't lie, but just in general, on paper, got to be going there and getting 3 points. Now, it isn't an easy place to go, and Eddie Howe alluded to this in the press conference this morning, saying, with the fans there, he believes they only got relegated because the fans weren't there, because they were that much of a big weapon for Bournemouth, was the fans in the close-knit, tight stadium, because what is it, 13,000, 14,000 capacity, something like that? It's a really small ground, you're close to the pitch. If the fans are in the right frame of mind, they're pushing their team, it can make life difficult. That's what we're seeing, obviously, Bournemouth do in the first game of the Premier League. A real surprise package. The ground looks so out of place for the Premier League. But respecting them. Do you know what I mean? Respecting them for how they're doing, how they've came up again in the Premier League without Howe. And I think it's a great little club. Personally, never been there myself, but, because you can. It's a mission away. So respect every Toon fan that's travelling. It's like, 6 and a bit hours. It's past Southampton, where I just was the other week for the semi-final. But the real reason I can't go, and a lot of fans can't go, is because the allocation's so small. 1,300. That's it for a Premier League away capacity. What? Just over 1,000 tickets. That is mental. So hard to get a hold of. So yeah, I won't be going there. I'll be watching the Bournemouth game. I'll just about catch it all before I've got a busy night tomorrow night. Out for a family meal, so that'll be good. But I'll try and bring you a match reaction at full time. Maybe may have to be later on in the night once I get back home, to be honest with you. But omens are actually looking good for Newcastle this weekend. A decent record at the Vitality. We'll look at the results here. Won 4-1 last time we played there. That was in COVID times. And Lazaro was on the goal sheet for Brucey Bowl that day. That was one of the best Brucey performances I've ever seen, to be honest. A 4-1 win. Gale, Sean Longstaff, and Miggy Almiron scored. Before that, couple of 2-2 draws. Rondon, lovely stuff. And Richie, remember that? Screamer against his former side. 2-2 the year before that. 1-0 win. Drew 0-0. So we haven't lost at Bournemouth since 1989-90 season. So the record's pretty decent there. But the omen I'm getting at is that this is actually Newcastle's longest unbeaten away run in the Premier League since the Bobby Robson era of 2003-2004. So that unbeaten spell of 7 games in the Premier League away from home is our best in nearly 20 years. And we're actually chasing another record. Eddie Howe's record-breaking marks is that the longest away unbeaten run we've ever had was 10 games during the First Division 1907-08 season. Madness. And then back in the Championship days, 09-10, we went on 9 without defeat away from St James's Park. Now, it's a proper reunion this weekend for the boys. You've got Tyndall going back there, Graham Jones going back there, and of course Eddie Howe going back there amongst the likes of Matt Ritchie as well, if he's still floating about somehow. But it'll be weird for them. Do you know what I mean? Going into the away dressing room. I think Howe will be so used to going into the home dressing room, he'll probably go in there by mistake, see Gary O'Neill with his balls out, and be, oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry, gaffer. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be in the away dressing room this weekend. And team news as follows. Bruno obviously still suspended. This is his second game of 3 that he'll miss for the Magpies. Very good news that Alexander Isak has been training all week, feeling fine, and will be included in the matchday squad. Howe confirmed that this morning in the presser. Isak will travel and he will be in the squad. Whether he plays or not, now Wilson, another one, another reunion, another old cherry, now a Magpie. He will be at Vitality, of course, and I think he might still start. Obviously, he scored last week against West Ham, his first goal in 11 games. He'll probably start, and I'd be surprised if it wasn't the same team, to be honest with you. You know Eddie Howe loves keeping the same side, so I'd be surprised if he mixed it up on this one. But for me, I hope he does. And as the title of the video suggests, Anthony Gordon must start. I'm telling you now, start him. Now, I do fancy St Maximin actually have a good game in this one. Bournemouth defending not very good. Away from home, Sky cameras are on. I think Maxi can shine a bit here. But I just really want to see Anthony Gordon. I really do. I think he did a lot more off the bench than Maxi did during the whole game against West Ham. I think Maxi's better off the bench. I think as that impact player, we've seen it. You know, he did well in the Cups against Leicester, Southampton. I think start Gordon. Give Gordon his chance. Eddie Howe said he did some one-on-one work with Anthony Gordon on Monday, and then he trained with the rest of the squad for the rest of the week. So he looks like he's firing. Howe says he's impressed with him in training. You know, he says he's confident, he's bright, he's doing the right thing. So, and that's what he was when he came off the bench, wasn't he? Very lively, and he should have had an assist because Wilson should have scored. So for me, I would love to see Anthony Gordon start. At the same time, saying that, if St Maximin starts, I'll still back him. He's got this chance to shine. He's got the Bruno suspension where Julian drops back into midfield. He's got to play well this week and then against Liverpool. I'll tell you what, Gordon next week against Liverpool, you know, that ex-Everton lad, that'll be spicy. Make his start then. But I'd like to see him start, but I think Howe will start with the same side that played and drew against West Ham last week at home. So Maxi has to take his chance. He's got to impress. I think he's got to get an assist or a goal, cause them problems. I think it's going to be much better to see Isak as an option to come off the bench because I'd maybe even start Isak, but I think Wilson will start. So we've been unbeaten for ages, but we need to get back to winning ways. We need 3 points on the weekend. Opportunity with Man United dropping them during the week against Leeds. It's very tight up there. They play Leeds again on Sunday, I think it is. So Newcastle can go back into third on Saturday night. Let's do it. Let's put the pressure on Man United and let's start getting that rivalry built back up from the 90s. Built back up in time for the Carabao Cup final in just 2 weeks' time. Absolutely buzzing. And I just want to put this on the screen as well from what Eddie Howe said in the press conference this morning. This was decent. You know, he was saying he's banning talk of Wembley in his house. He's not thinking about Wembley. The only thing he's having to deal with regarding Wembley is tickets. Constantly getting asked for tickets. His people are asking him for tickets who he doesn't even know whose phone number it is. Popping up on his mobile and he's getting asked about tickets. And I'm the same. Can everyone stop messaging me for tickets, please? On Instagram, on everything. Asking, can I get tickets? from all over the world. Big use up, by the way. Shout out everyone, people from America, Saudi Arabia, all over, who've asked me for tickets. Unfortunately, I can't get you them. If I could, I would love to give you the tickets. Because in fact, I don't even have my own ticket yet. I don't even have my ticket yet for Wembley. So if anyone can help me out, more like, do you know what I mean? Help us out. Let us know in the comments. Message me on Instagram or whatever, at the Magpie channel, at MattyTMC. If you can, sort us out with the golden ticket. Long shot, but I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? You know me. I've had my hotel, my transport booked before the quarterfinals against Leicester. But yeah, I haven't managed to get a ticket yet. I will try my best. I'll try and make sure I get there in the stadium. But if not, que sera, sera. But if you can help us out, let us know. Anyways, let's get on to my score prediction, and as we wrap this video up, I'm going to go for a big, tasty, sexy 3-0 away win. Yes, I'm going to say the goals are coming back. The 3 goals, 3 points, take it back to Newcastle. Absolutely lovely stuff. I fancy Isak to get one off the bench, and I'll say St. Maximin after seeing he shouldn't start. There you go. I'm going to go 3-0 Newcastle. I think comprehensive win. As long as we start well, I think as long as Bournemouth don't score early, the crowd don't get up for them at the Vitality, I think we'll be all right, and I think we'll get 3 points. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-0 away Newcastle win. Drop your comments below, drop your score predictions below, subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV, and enjoy yourself.